So imagine, and this is true story. I get a call. I'm watching the draft. It was the New Jersey Nets front office calling me. They said, "John, we're about to draft you." So I sat back like, whoa. And I'm watching David Stern said, with the 36th pick, New Jersey Nets select John Best. I said, whoa. They said, we're going to have camp in 3 weeks. Be ready. So summer, I hung the phone up. Soon as I hung the phone up, it rang. "John, we going out tonight. We about to go kick it. Your money no good, all this." So from that day to the first day of camp, I stopped working out, which was the biggest thing that got me to where I was. So that element that I was trying to get rid of in New Jersey, I thought I left it behind, came up at the night that I got drafted. So I started doing things that I shouldn't have done. I was hanging out. I was doing everything except working out. So I'm gonna put it like that. When I got to New Jersey, it's practice. And I'm
right
breathing hard. So it messed up my chances of staying there.
Hey everybody, I am back with another episode of So What Success Stories. Today is my honor. I am talking to a really, really hardworking man who is making some amazing things happen here in this city. He is John Best, and John Best is the general manager of 88.5, which is the radio station for Memphis, Shelby County Schools here in Memphis, and he's GM for C19-TV. And he's done some really, really cool stuff in a really short period of time with both of those entities for our students. And everybody who knows me knows that our kids, our students are my heart. And obviously John's too, because he's really made some amazing things happen. So this is John Best. He is one of my newer friends, I say, in the sense that we probably met in the last 5 years or so, something like that.
Right.
Something like that. But I'm so honored and excited to be connected to this amazing man doing amazing things. So John, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me on. You know, I don't take any interview, any request lightly. And just the thought of you having, to have me on is something I really want to say that I appreciate you for. Well, a little bit about me. I mean, I give you the short version. Grew up from New Jersey, a place called Neptune, New Jersey. I left there when I was like 16, moved to Memphis when we had my father's side of the family is from Memphis. We had a family reunion. And I'm like, yo, it's cool down here. I said, the South, I thought the South was like dirt roads and farms. As soon as we hit the city, I think we was at, what's that, Macklemore, and one of the streets. And I was like, yo, this looked like the hood back in New Jersey. So after the family reunion, I was like, yo, can I stay down here, please? I didn't want to go back to New Jersey. I said, if I would have stayed in New Jersey, it could have been some other outcomes for myself. But I came to Memphis hoping to get a fresh start. Ended up going to Whitehaven High School, where I'm a proud graduate of class of 1989. So when I came out of Whitehaven, I played basketball. So I got a scholarship to go to Tennessee Tech. Played there 4 years. Then I got drafted to the NBA, pick number 36 in the NBA draft by the New Jersey Nets. I was there for a hot minute, then I went overseas and I played ball for 14 years. Been around the world, all passports stamped up, all of that. Then in 2007, I retired and I saw the then, Willie Harrington. He was the superintendent of Memphis City Schools at the time. And he had some tears in his eyes talking about, yo, we need some men in the school system. So I applied for a job and I became a security officer in 2008. 2008 to 2014, I was a security, and then I became a teacher for 1 year. And then after that, I got a job over here at 88.5 and C19. I've been here ever since. So that's the kind of quick version, just make sure we don't get, I don't want to get too much in the weeds.
I think that's cool. I didn't even know that you were with the school system before. I mean, it only makes sense, but I didn't know that you were with the school system before. All right, before we get into the questions, tell me about your family situation, because you got an awesome family.
Yes, I have a wife of 28 years. I have 5 children. I have 3 daughters, 2 sons, and I had 2 have finished college. And I have 1 that's in college at FAMU in Florida, and my son is a rising sophomore at Middle College High. Yeah, and I have grandbabies. I mean, man, I got 4 grandbabies. I got 4 grandbabies. So, brother, you know, I'm in the land, as they say. I got some family, some people that have my name, which is a blessing.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. So when I saw, I guess I got introduced to you because I was working with the school system prior to you becoming general manager, and that even done some things with the radio station. And then you came in, and I started reading about your background. It stuck out to me that you played for the league, for the NBA.
Right. Yes.
For a while, with my background from the Grizzlies, I was like, I got to get to know this guy. And then not only did I get to know you by meeting you, but just by seeing you have results, have some immediate impact. So let's get into these questions, because I can't wait to tell more of your story.
Okay.
So, John, in this program, I have what I call the So What Success System. It's my belief that anyone, if they can learn how to overcome obstacles, eliminate excuses, and calculate choices, they can have so what success. And that is success no matter what they go through in life. So, John, you have had some challenges throughout your life. You've shared a few publicly, and and we're human, so we all do, right? But you are, I think, what most people would consider successful, especially playing in a league. That's a dream for most people, or for a lot of people, right?
Right.
And even playing overseas, that's amazing too.
Right.
Talk about some of the obstacles that you've had to overcome to get to where you are today.
All right, let's start with the basketball, okay? And I'll work my way up to now. So here I am at a predominantly white school in the hills of Tennessee, Cookeville, Tennessee. My senior year, I'm leading the country in scoring in Division I basketball. I was averaging 28.1 points a game, and I was getting a lot of recognition, right? So people were saying, "Oh, you just scoring because you playing in a weak league." You know, I mean, I had to hear all of that. I played against Penny. I played against University of Tennessee when they had some of their great players. I played against a lot of the big name stars that went on to the NBA and became great. But I held my own. But I kept hearing the talk. You can't go to the next level, which was the NBA. So what I did, and for those young people that may be listening, I was in the gym. When it was not basketball season, I stayed in the gym. I lived in the gym. I gave up and sacrificed my summers to work on my basketball game. So while my friends were out partying and kicking it, I'm in the gym, shooting. And so I ended up getting drafted by the New Jersey Nets. And it shocked a lot of people. It shocked a lot of people here in Memphis, because they're like, who this kid? He came from New Jersey, went to Whitehaven for 2 years, got a scholarship at Cookeville to Tennessee Tech University, and ended up getting drafted. So once I got drafted, then it was, okay, you there, will you stay, right? And at the time, I was living with my aunt and uncle, shout out to Uncle Rick and Aunt Ethel that lived in Whitehaven, and they did the best that they could with me, you know what I'm saying? But I still had a little element of New Jersey still in me. So imagine, and this is true story. I get a call, I'm watching the draft. It was the New Jersey Nets front office calling me. They said, "John, we're about to draft you." So I sat back like, whoa. And I'm watching David Stern said, with the 36th pick, New Jersey Nets select John Best. I said, whoa. They said, we're gonna have camp in 3 weeks, be ready. So summer, I hung the phone up. Soon as I hung the phone up, it rang. "John, we going out tonight. We about to go kick it. Your money no good, all this." So from that day, to the first day of camp, I stopped working out, which was the biggest thing that got me to where I was. So that element that I was trying to get rid of in New Jersey, I thought I left it behind, came up at the night that I got drafted. So I started doing things that I shouldn't have done. I was hanging out. I was doing everything except working out. So I'm gonna put it like that. When I got to New Jersey, it's practice, and I'm
right
breathing hard. So it messed up my chances of staying there, right? So what they said, go overseas, and we'll talk next year. So I went overseas, went to France. I see France, I'm like, yo, it's nice over here. But I still wanted to get back to the league. So long story short, with that situation, I had an agent who said, John, we want you to get 2-year deal. I said, no, I just want the minimum. Let me get my foot in the door, go from there. So he was like, no, we're gonna do 2 years, $1 million. I'm like, yo, no, I don't want that. So that's when I learned the game about agents and shady agents. So I ended up, the Nets brought me in the office. They said, John, we was willing to give you the minimum for the first year, but your agent was adamant about $1 million for 2 years. So I said, I appreciate it. I go back overseas, and I just started playing over there and ended up having a nice, lucrative career over there. But all the naysayers, you know, I still proved them wrong because they thought I wasn't going to leave Memphis. You see what I'm saying? Got to college, they thought I wasn't going to do nothing. So I'm a world travel man, and I'm glad to be here now. Now, to the point of where I am now, I was a security guard. So imagine that, Summer. Here I am, I'm 6'9", I'm a security guard at a school, and they end up saying, how you gonna work at a radio and TV station and you just a security guard? So I had to deal with more talking. You can't do this, you don't know this. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm a product of, I don't want to say haters, but I'm a product of rising above all the talk to get a job done on behalf of students, teachers, and families and community, and still try to be impactful, because you got to block out the noise. And Summer, it's still noise today.
Absolutely, I know it.
You know what I'm saying? But we still must rise above that to get the job done. So I'm blessed to be here. I've been through a lot. I don't talk about basketball too much, but if somebody asks me, it's my duty to tell them. But I'm not trying to live, hey man, I remember when I did this, yo, that was a time of my life. But now I'm like, yo, how can we get these children to learn how to read? How can we improve our community? That's the talk that I'm on right now.
I think that's awesome, John. And I appreciate you sharing both of those stories. And I think that's important for anybody watching this, because we all have people who will doubt us. I'm a product of that too, right? And even one of the presentations that I give, I talk about haters and doubters being your motivation, you know, and probably almost to a fault for me. I'm like, oh, you think I can't?
Right.
Just watch me. Don't believe me, just watch me. For real. And I appreciate you sharing that. I appreciate you sharing that. And I think that's so cool too, how you talked about going to a totally unexpected career too. So past the basketball, which I think is awesome. And, you know, I told you, my world of living in sports, but also how you took some of the lessons and the things that you learned from that career, and even being in that career, getting to that career to where you are now and doing something else that's totally unexpected. And I'm telling you, you're killing it. From my perspective, at least, you're killing it.
I appreciate that. And one thing about that is when I go back to when I said I sacrificed those summers to work on my game, right? So imagine now, here I am, I'm 51 years old, and I still got that energy of, I'm not gonna let you outwork me. I don't care who you are not going to outwork me. So that creates a problem to the lazy individual. So if a lazy person, I look crazy to a lazy person because they're so used to being complacent. They happy being at a job for 15, 20 years and not trying to elevate themselves. And I'm not talking down to anybody that's been at a job for 20 years. But if you've been there and you've been in the exact same position and you didn't try to elevate or go up, and here I come in, I'm hungry, I'm trying to get it. And that's how I was able to move up in the ranks in my position, because I worked hard and I know what I'm doing, just like a lot of people that's listening right now. Don't give up.
I feel you. I feel you. I love it. And we here because I'm a hard worker too. And sometimes people who work hard can be a threat to people who don't want to work as hard, right?
You are a threat.
Yeah. But the reality is, when you are working hard, and I know your work and my work too has nothing to do with me. The impact that you make has nothing to do with you or you trying to get personal gain from it. The same here. Now, if you can get something out of it, like, get paid, that's what you should do because you're working hard. But the goal is to make an impact and to make a change. And John, I see it. I see it in you, and I see the results, and I'm really.
We making a change right now.
I love it. And we're going to keep on grinding, keep on working hard and sharing our stories. So the next part of the SOA success system is around excuses, eliminating excuses. And so talk about some of the excuses that you had to eliminate, or maybe even some of them that you made that you had to get through, or that you made that held you back. Talk about excuses.
Okay, man, that's a excellent topic, because I try to live my life where there's no room for an excuse. And I tell my team and all the people that work for me, you got two options, done or not done, right? So if I'm asking my team and people to work for me to live to that standard, I gotta be the example. So if somebody asks me to do something, I'm gonna do my best to get it done. If I can't make it, like today, some stuff came up, summer now, I said, look, I might have to push it back. But if I didn't call you or let you know, then it's like, I can't depend on John, even though it's a small thing, but it may lean to a bigger thing. So ladies and gentlemen, when you make an excuse, it's like, why? If you are able to do something, you're able to do it or you not. Stop trying to say, well, my car didn't work. We understand we got things that happen. But if I give you an assignment on Monday, it's due Friday. Don't come to me Friday saying, oh, Lord, this, that, and the other. No, you didn't get it done. So I live my life on done or not done. And I live that 24/7. I hate excuses. I don't like excuse. That's one of the things. I know we're not supposed to hate nothing, but just when somebody says I couldn't do it because, and you start hearing all these, I say, okay, but it's somebody that probably would have did it quicker than you, that's wanting the job that you're in, but because you comfortable, you think, oh, it's easy to say excuses. You see a lot of excuses with lazy people.
And you're exactly right. You're exactly right. So you know what, you talk about sacrificing your summers. I know you sacrifice a lot. So talk about some of the excuses that you were like, I could have made this. I could have said, I need to sleep in. I'm tired. Talk about some of those excuses that you did have to, because I want the people watching this who are thinking about some of the excuses, I want them to hear the ones that you was like, okay. Not that one, not that one.
Okay, here you go. When I became the general manager of this radio and TV station, I didn't say, okay, now I got the title and then I'm chilling like, yeah, I'm the general manager. I had to get to work even harder because now I'm here. I need to know how to work everything in this building. I know how to know every inch of the building, right? So I couldn't just do that in the 9 to 5 time frame. So what I used to do, I used to come in at 7, 8 o'clock, stay to 9, 10 o'clock at night every day. Saturday and Sunday, I came up here. So while people saying, oh, John, you don't have to do all of that. No, I had something in myself. I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to take this radio and TV station to a new level. And with the not to take away from the people that came before me, but to put them on my back and push it as far as I can go. So when the next person comes, it's forward motion. Absolutely. I can't do that on a 9 to 5 every day. When I'm at home, I'm thinking about the station. I had to become this station. And that's something that a lot of people would not do. They just say, man, the weekend is here. Enjoy your weekend. No, I'm in here testing equipment. You know, we looking at music, looking at videos. We doing some video editing, all of this stuff. Because if I want to make an impact, how can you make an impact and you not putting in the work to make an impact? It's easy to talk, right? You know, it's easy to say, well, so what? But yeah, so what is backed by all these years of experiences that I've been through. So that was the biggest thing to do. So by me working, that killed all excuses. After hours, you know, when going places where nobody want to go, DJing when nobody wanted to DJ. Come on, that's how it gotta be, ladies and gentlemen. You can't just say, I want something, but don't put in the time to go get what you want.
I love it. I love it. And you know what else is? I'm looking at you and listening to your story. The other excuse you could have made is, I don't know how to be a radio TV general manager, because you didn't.
I could have said I was a security guard, you know, I don't know nothing about that, but the people don't know, I was the first person to stream 24 hours urban music in 2004. I had internet stations from 2004 to 2012. You know, so I already knew the game. I just didn't work in a building of a radio station, but I know music. And if you know music, come on.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love you just taking what you did know in music and transforming it into a career that you didn't know, right? But you put in the work to know it. And like I said, now you're just killing the game. I love it. Well, the third part of the SOA success system is calculating choices. So you've made a lot of choices along your journey. Talk about some of the choices that you made personally and professionally to get to where you are today.
All right, with basketball, let's go back to that. I had a coach. His name is Duško Ivanović. He was from Yugoslavia, okay? I was in Switzerland. He was my coach in Switzerland. All right, I'm gonna give y'all some real numbers so y'all can see about choices. When I was playing for him in Switzerland, I made $4,500 a month, okay? That's no money in basketball. Tax-free, but it was no money. But he was a very good coach, meaning I led that country in scoring. I was averaging like 30 points. And after every game, I was like, yo, he ain't never come pat me on my back, never said good game. Practice tomorrow, 10 o'clock. For the whole season, summer, and all you basketball players out there, imagine your coach never telling you good job. So we get to the championship. I see a smile, right? And it's the championship game. We win the championship. He comes over, sits next to me and says, you scored 30 points in the game. Okay, we won. You scored 30 points in the game. We lose. What does that mean? It means something when you go for the championship and you win. He said, don't matter the points. It's the championship that people look for. How many championships have you won? Not how many points have you scored. Everybody's a scorer, especially young fellas. Everybody can score. Everybody can dribble. Everybody can dunk. But what else can you do? So what that taught me, I said, man, okay, don't get hyped on yourself because you had a good game, right? Or you have a good event. You're not walking around, yeah, so what? We did that. You know what it is. It's like, okay, let's get ready for the next one. The next one, right. So I ended up leaving the team the next year. So I stayed with him for 2 years. He told me, John, if you stay with me one more year, I'm projected to go to a big team in Europe, and I want to bring you with me. Now, here's my dilemma. I got a family, I got babies. I can't put my life on hold another year because of his dreams and his goal, right? So I thought about it. I said, no, I gotta go. So I left. The very next year, this man goes to one of the top teams in Europe. Big money, big money, big money, Summer. And I'm sitting there like, he told me if I would have waited, I could have went with him. So the next year I get a call, and I'm due to sign with a team in Berlin, Germany. Big money, 200,000 for the 10 months. I'm like, yes. I get a call the night I signed. He said, John, I'm in Barcelona, the #1 team in Europe. I said, man, I'm getting ready to sign. He said, don't sign it, don't sign it. He said, man, we about to make some moves. I want to try to bring you in. What they say, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, right? I signed the contract. He calls me, John, we want to sign you for like 400 and some thousand, woo, woo, woo. I'm sick, I'm sick. Now I made a choice. I could have waited. Again, I could have waited. But that bird in the hand, I got a contract here and I got a possible, what is it? I got a 2 and a possible when you play sports. So I was living in the concrete where I said, yo, I got a family to feed. I need to sign this. Do you know this man went on to become one of the best coaches in Europe? And all the teams he went to, he has won pretty much a championship at every team he's been on. And I'm thinking, I could have been right there along with him because he told me at a low point, because I'm focusing on the money, not the experience of getting better under this leadership. He gave me the option. John, if you stay, you have the possibility to go with me wherever I go. And I think about that today and I kick myself all the time, Summer, because I made the wrong choice. But it was the choice that I had to make for me and my family.
Based on where you were right there. It's so interesting, that story. And that's how choices go. And that's why this is even called calculated choices, right? So right. you did do calculations.
I'm calculating in my mind, no money on the table, money on the table.
Exactly. You made the best choice for what you knew at the time. And you know what, in my belief, John, who knows, you said the wrong choice, right or wrong, I don't know, who can say for sure, right? But the choice that you did make led you to where you are today and to what you're doing right now and the impact that you're having right now. That actually has little to nothing to do with money, but it's changing and saving lives, right?
That's
so
right.
It's still an amazing choice.
I wouldn't be here. If I would have went with him, I wouldn't be here right now.
Yep. Period. And so I get it because I think about choices too. A lot of choices we can talk about later. A lot of choices that I'm like, it sent me way over here. And even in my life, the choice that I made when I ended up getting pregnant and having my child and becoming a mom at 15, that wouldn't have been a choice that I would have made. However, had that not happened, I wouldn't be right here either. Exactly. So I totally get it. I totally respect it. And oh, that was a good story. Well, listen.
It was constantly calculating because I'm like, man, I got this in my hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got money in your hand and then somebody's telling you, put the money back for it's a possibility in 3 days, I'm going to have an open slot for you, right? That's what happened.
And I think you made the choice that a lot of people would make. Especially, I guess, people who have people depending on them, exactly. Especially, right?
Oh, if I was single, I would have been like, nah, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's life, where we are in life and what we have going on in life. It really dictates a lot of our choices too. Right. And our choices, the choices that we make also dictate our life. So I say that a lot. It's your life, so it's your choice. And then it's your choice, so that's your life.
That's right.
And so that's so that's real. But look, so you have had, I really appreciate you sharing this story, and you've demonstrated in just a short period of time, you know about overcoming obstacles, eliminating excuses, and calculating choices. And so you are what I would consider a success man. Life has not always been easy. You ain't always made the right or the best choices, maybe, but you are successful and you are having an impact. But John, how do you personally define success? What's your definition of success?
My definition of success is freedom. Because you said I'm successful, right? From your perspective, right? I feel that I'm successful, right? I'm not talking about the dollar amount, because nobody can put a dollar amount, say you worth this, so I'm only going, you know what you bring to the table, right? So let's put money to the side.
Yep.
I mean success like, I want to play this type of music today, right? I can get out of my office, go in the room, say, I want to hear some Frankie Beverly and Mays, right? Being successful in my role, I can go in and do that. Everybody can't just go into a radio station and play what they want to play, right? You have some guidelines. And yes, I have guidelines, but I'll have freedom to make adjustments and to do things on the fly. And that's why when you are successful in my eyes, you have freedom to do what you want to do, not to be out here tripping and bugging and acting crazy and other than ourselves, but you have the freedom to reach back and maybe bring up 2 or 3 more people. You have the freedom to go into a school. I know you've been into a school to talk to students that help share how you got to where you were. That's freedom. Freedom is, being successful is not cars. It's not gold. It's not necklaces. It's not Jordans. That's material things that come and go. But if you're successful, like I think you're successful, Summer, you're using a platform to inspire others, right? So that's the success I see in you. You have the freedom to interview who you want, to bring on who you want, to put behind you whatever you want. Some people don't have that. No, you have to put this Coke bottle right here. You have to put this behind you. You do not bring John Best on your show. You got to bring other people on your show, right? So that's how I see success, as freedom. That's empowerment. That's being able to really create jobs for other people. That's success to me, not what I drive or the house that I live in. I was homeless at a point. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, but I feel I'm successful because I worked hard for this freedom or for this success. So.
Yes, I love that definition. And that's why I smile so big when you said it. The first word out of your mouth was freedom. That's mine too. And for that, for me, it's also time freedom, right? I can do what I want to do when I want to do it. And yes, I have obligations like you do, and I have responsibilities.
Right.
But it's freedom, and you said the right word. You work for it. You earned it. Right. I earned it.
Yes. But it goes back to putting that time in, right? What Drake said, you wasn't in the gym shooting in the gym. You wasn't with me when I was in the gym shooting. You wasn't with me when I was building So What? When I was sitting at the table thinking, what name am I going to have? Well, you wasn't with me when I was thinking, how can I change 88.5? How can I bring live streaming to Shelby County Schools so that families can watch these board meetings and not be in the place, but still see what going on? You wasn't with me when I was thinking about that. You wasn't with Summer when she was going through her trials and tribulations. So where she's at now, she's giving back by bringing other people on to share their stories. And that's a beautiful thing, Summer.
And I appreciate, I just love and admire people and their journey so much. And I know that people need to hear other people's stories and see people that they probably consider successful, however they define success, to understand that success, for one, looks a lot of different ways. And even the person who is successful has their own definition of success and their journey to get there. It didn't happen overnight. Right. So, John, I have one last question for you.
Okay.
You've dropped a lot of nuggets throughout our time together already, but what's one piece of advice that you would leave someone who is watching this, who wants to be successful, however they define success, but they run into obstacles or they have challenges like we all do? What's one piece of advice you would give them?
I would say always reach back. Always never forget where you come from. Okay? Never forget where you come from. If you came from the single parent home or you came from the hood, all of that, and all you do, use that as motivation to get where you want. Stop saying I can't do this because, or because my mother and them couldn't afford an education for me, or I couldn't go to the best school. That's an excuse. Rewind this and we'll talk, you'll see about that excuse. You can do it. And the reason I said that about reach back and always remember where you come from, I was blessed to go to Apple headquarters in Cupertino, California, right? They have a big spaceship looking building. It's a big circle, right? And in this building is glass. The interior is a complete circle. And they said Steve Jobs, he didn't get to see the finished product, but he wanted everybody, when they come out of each office, after they just made the iPhone or just made the iPad, he wanted everybody to look in the courtyard, because inside the circle is a big courtyard. And he said, I want everybody to remember the first technology, and that's agriculture. So I'm like, mind blown. This man got apple orchards all inside Apple's headquarters. Apples, the big red apples.
Wow.
We eat. He said, whether you making FaceTime or you working on engineering at Apple, he want everybody to look back and remember the very first technology was agriculture. And look how far he went by remembering the first technology. Now his technology is pretty much the best technology in the world. So that's why I say, never forget where you come from. Always look back as a reminder so that can push you when you get low or you get down. Start replaying some of the struggles you went through, where you came from, to get you motivated to get where you need to go.
That was good. That was good. And look, I'm reflecting as you're saying it, looking back right while you're talking. Thank you, John. Thank you for this time. Thank you for all that you are doing for, I said for our kids, but it's not just for our kids. It's for the parents. It's for the educators. It's for the community. It's for all of us. I thank you. And I'm honored to have you as a friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And look, you keep going with this. Don't let nobody stop you. And I know they're not, because they can't stop you, but take this as far as you can take this. Because the other thing Apple said, and while I was there, all they do is tell stories. You see what I'm saying? So just telling the stories, getting other people to tell stories, it's going to hit somebody. Everybody may not, it may not resonate with everybody, but you keep having different people on, somebody going to get something from everybody you bring on this platform. And
that is something that I know is the truth. Thank you so much, John. It was a pleasure.
All right.